As we all know, one of the most difficult things to do in competitive Pokemon is to build a team of 6 Pokemon. There are currently 720 Pokemon, 721 if I include the unreleased Volcanion. While choosing 6 Pokemon that you would like to use, you have to keep in mind what role each of them can possibly fulfill. It's really overwhelming for someone starting out to take in. I like to think that the lack of team building skills are really what will hold the trainer back from improving. Fortunately for you, there are plenty of resources at your disposal if you look hard enough. If you have absolutely no experience in competitive team building or competitive Pokemon for that matter, let me refer you to my last video. It's about my thought process while I build my own teams. While it doesn't cover absolutely everything, it's a good learning experience nonetheless, and you would definitely walk away with more knowledge than you had before. I would also like to redirect you to Smokin.com, the most recognized competitive Pokemon community, and they're also the one I personally follow. So without further ado, ladies, gentlemen, and others, my name is Rayquaza, and welcome to Building with Rayquaza, a new video series I'm introducing to my channel. Today's subject, Mega Sceptile.
At first glance, Mega Sceptile might not seem very impressive. For starters, it has bad bulk, a typing that leaves it vulnerable to various priority users including Talonflame, Mamoswine, Weavile, Bisharp, and Mega Scizor. Furthermore, its base 145 special attack is relatively average considering Mega Sceptile has to go without a boosting item. Combine this with its lack of powerful and reliable stab move, and it's easy to see how most defensive teams don't struggle to handle it. However, Mega Sceptile's niche in OU comes from its ability to handle offensive teams. Its base 145 speed makes it the fastest dragon type available, which is immensely useful in a tier of numerous threatening dragon types such as Latios, Latias, Garchomp, and Mega Charizard X, as Mega Sceptile is able to avenge kill all of them barring Mega Altaria. Additionally, despite Mega Sceptile's relatively average special attack, it has access to Leaf Storm, which, thanks to its high base power, allows Mega Sceptile to revenge kill frailer threats such as Mega Lopunny. Its grass stab move of choice, along with its 4-time resistance to water, allows Mega Sceptile to check all the various bulky water types in OU, including Slowbro, Manaphy, and Rotom Wash. Finally, thanks to its access to Lightning Rod, Mega Sceptile is able to check most of the various electric types in OU, including Rotom Wash, Mega Netric, and Thundurus, the latter of which can't even paralyze Mega Sceptile. To make things simple, Mega Sceptile is a frail, decently powerful Pokemon whose only perks are its speed and immunity to electric moves, making it the fastest revenge killer in OU without a choice scarf. As far as battle advice goes, when using Mega Sceptile, it's important to Mega Evolve as soon as you can. I advise doing so when you're confronted with Pokemon Sceptile has no problem dealing with. For example, let's say you're able to bait your opponent into switching into their Rotom Wash, and you doubled into your Sceptile. That's a perfect opportunity to Mega Evolve. Since Mega Sceptile isn't able to take a lot of hits, you're going to be doing a lot of hit and running. You're typically going to use Sceptile to outspeed and KO weakened Mons, hence the title Revenge Killer. When building a team around Mega Sceptile, it's important to take into consideration what gives Sceptile a lot of trouble. Fairy types, Steel types, bulky grass types, Talonflame, and Stall are typically what give Mega Sceptile a hard time. Be sure to have a way to deal with everything I just listed, whether it be in the core of your team or outside of it. You've probably encountered teams with Mega Sceptile that incorporate a fire, water, grass core. That is because Pokemon that fit in that category synergize well with Mega Sceptile. Pokemon that fit in the core are, but not limited to, Heatran, Talonflame, Azumarill, Rotom Wash, and Gyarados. Depending on who you add to that core will dictate the nature and playstyle of your team, as well as the strength and weaknesses. Other great teammates for Mega Sceptile include Rhyperior, Hippowdon, and any powerful stall breaker such as Bisharp, Swords Dance Diggersby, Swords Dance Crawdont, Choice Specs Sylveon, and Choice Specs Dragalge? Whatever, it's a stupid poison dragon type. There's plenty of options, so don't be afraid to be creative. If you're still having a little bit of trouble choosing teammates for Mega Sceptile, then don't worry, I've got you covered. I've taken the liberty of finding 3 cores for you, one of which is my own, so it's up to you if you want to use any of them. The first core consists of Sub Mega Sceptile, Scarf Kyurem Black, and Scarf Jirachi. Let me just start off by saying that this core is not beginner friendly. It's also difficult to correctly build around, but in the hands of a professional player, it is devastating. Sceptile serves as your secondary cleaner and beats threats like Thundurus Eye, bulky water types, bulky ground types, and anything within KO range of its attacks really. Kyurem is the late game cleaner designed to handle annoyances to the core such as Landorus T, the Zards, Tentacruel, Celebi, etc. Jirachi provides an offensive check to Pokemon such as Mega Gardevoir, Mega Altaria, and Clefable. Iron Head is interchangeable on Kyurem Black for Dragon Claw, but you'll be a bit more Fairy weak. Body Slam is interchangeable on Jirachi for Trick, for the trade-off of being better against Stall, but not so against defensive teams. Next up we have Sub Mega Sceptile, Assault Vest Azumarill, and Stall Breaker Heatran. This core is pretty simple. Mega Sceptile breaks the water types Heatran hates, bar Azumarill. Heatran beats the Fairy types, sets up rocks, and beats Stall with Taunt. And Azumarill beats Dragon types that Sceptile hates, as well as opposing Heatran, and beats Tyranitar and Excadrill. Not only do they cover each other well offensively, but defensively they cover each other's weaknesses, bar ground type moves, cause you know. Sceptile's frail. This core is really weak to Keldeo and wall-breaking Mew. It also has trouble with things like Mega Metagross, Stall, and wall breakers, so Pokemon that can handle Mega Metagross like Slowbro and Pokemon like Assault Vest Kyurem Black are great partners. Pivots such as Landorus T, Defensive Scizor, and Rotom Wash are good partners. Gliscor is also a great partner to help deal with Stall as well as Mew. This is a pretty good core overall. It deals with most of Mega Sceptile's weaknesses using only 3 Pokemon, which is neat. I recommend trying it out. Lastly, we have the core I'm going to be focusing more on for this video. Sub Mega Sceptile, Assault Vest Azumarill, and Swords Dance Talonflame. Have you noticed that I use the sub variant for Mega Sceptile in all the cores? Well, that's because the sub variant is the most practical set in my opinion. It allows Sceptile to play more aggressively. You're probably wondering what makes this core any different from the last. Well, despite the last core's ability to check nearly the entire tier with the proper sets, it lacked a consistent win condition and really struggled with certain mons like Keldeo, Talonflame, as well as Starbreaker Mew, which can seriously cripple all 3 members. That led me to replace Heatran with Swords Dance Talonflame. Choice Band Azumarill was chosen over the Assault Vest initially, as I believe the team really appreciated the wall breaking power versus the extra bulk, as well as making Azumarill a much more effective revenge killer. But this ultimately turned out not to be the case in practice. Superpower has been chosen over knockouts and nab surprise knockouts against Ferrothorns, while the rest being standard. Now that you've seen some cores, it's time to build off of one. I'm going to add on to this one because it's the one that resonates to my playstyle the most. My playstyle being Hyper Offense. First off, since I'm running Talonflame, I'm gonna need some hazard control. I'm lacking switch-ins to Keldeo, Charizard Y, and Mega Venusaur, and Talonflame, so I think it'll be good to add Latios and Hippowdon. I'm giving Latios the standard offensive defog set. You can choose to use Latias and even give it Healing Wish if you'd like. I think I'll go with the standard Hippowdon as well. I'll give it Rock Slide too, that way you can hit birds and pop some air balloons. I'll leave it up to you whether or not you want to keep Sandstream. Personally, I'll keep it because this team looks like it's going to struggle with rain, and the Spadef boost from the sand can really save Hippowdon sometimes. So far it looks like the team is going to have troubles with the Lati twins and some fairies, and doesn't really appreciate Intimidate either. I'll add Bisharp because it takes care of that and more. Well, alright, the team looks pretty solid. All thing left to do is to see how well it does on my personal checklist. Wow, it almost hits everything on my list. It's actually pretty good. It sucks not having Intimidate, but having 3 forms of priority should make up for it. Same could be said about not having Weather Abuser or T-Wave User. So before I end the video, let's do a quick recap on the team. First up, we got Sub Mega Sceptile, which serves as our late game cleaner and revenge killer. Next up, we have Swords Dance Talonflame, our wall breaker, revenge killer, win condition, and late game sweeper. Up next, we have Assault Vest Azumarill, meant to be the team's offensive pivot, as well as being one of our main answers to Keldeo. Latios serves as our offensive defogger, able to come in on resisted hits and either defog away hazards or just drop a Draco Meteor. Next up we have Hippowdon. Hippowdon serves as our bird check and overall physical wall. He's also used to set up hazards. And lastly we have Bisharp. Bisharp is our answers to Latios and Latias as well as fairies. Bisharp is also another one of our stall breakers. Alright, well that's it for today. Leave a like if you thought the video was helpful and subscribe if you like. I know I don't post often, but when I do I try to make sure it's worthwhile. With summer right around the corner I should be able to have more free time. Special thanks to everyone who helped me film this. Thank you all for watching. This is Rayquaza signing off.